tuning in to the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Hey guys, hey AfterBuzzers, how are you? We're back, Shark Tank, our weekly recap. Oh my god, I'm so excited it's back. So excited.
I'm gonna pose like the sharks.
Okie dokie.
Yeah.
So, we are, I mean, this show, by far, I think is one of the most watched shows on television. Super excited to be back. They start off the episode with telling us there's 40 million in deals in the tank. Let's get talking about it. Right. I am Stef Z. We got a full panel tonight. Let's tell the viewers who you guys are.
I'm Phil Svitek, and I have to say, literally, I've been coaching people through business deals and things like that, and there was a kid yesterday. I said, literally, your prescription, you're going to watch 10 episodes of Shark Tank, then get back to me.
Oh, cool. I like that.
I want to.
We have Kristina Zias.
Hi, everyone. Happy to be back.
And we have a newcomer.
Hey, I'm Cameron Lewis, and I'm a little offended I didn't get the big mug.
I didn't do it on purpose. He said it was the last mug that we had. My mug is bigger than everybody else's mug.
That's because you have a bigger equity because you're the main host.
Yes, I have 27%.
The rest of us have whatever the rest of that
yes.
would be.
All right, well, let's get right to it. One of the first things we noticed, I'm just going to go ahead and talk about it right now. Robert's hair.
Yeah.
Right? I was thinking the exact same thing.
A little fluffy.
Really fluffy, and I feel like the color's a little different, too.
Yeah.
A little darker. I don't know if you guys noticed the new intro. He's standing in the plane, and it's like flopping all over the place.
Yeah.
In the wind.
Yeah. For the first episode, I don't think we saw the intro, but the second one, and tonight, guys, we've got 2 episodes. We're going to go a little bit quicker through them so we can get through them in the same time, but we do have episode 1 and 2, or 1 and 1.5. It was 2 hours of awesomeness. But yeah, he's looking a little fluffy.
It's like it's more stylish mullet. That's how I would describe it.
Yeah,
anyway.
there's definitely some mullet
It's like a
going
more
on.
contained mullet.
Fair
It's like
enough.
a fullet. Like not a mohawk, but a
bit.
faux hawk. It's a fullet.
How
All
much
right,
do you
let's not
think he
make fun of
spent
my
on that?
favorite shark, by the way.
Okay. Let's get right into it. So first, guys, into the tank, we've got the sleeping baby with the zippity zip. What do you guys think? What do you think, Phil?
Brilliant!
Love it.
Absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And, you know, and she knew the science behind it. She knew the specifics. It makes sense. And I'm all in.
I loved when she said the science behind it.
Yeah, that
was
got
impressed.
me too. I was totally in after that. And the 12 hours of sleep. Didn't make it well.
Nothing bothers me
12 hours.
more than a crying baby, except families with strollers. And I know this sounds really insensitive, but like they're just always in your way. So if these people could solve at least part of the problem of the crying baby, I'm all on board. And I think the price point's really good too.
I think the price point's really good. They're going in. They want $200,000 for 20% equity. They've got $2 million valuation. I feel like this is a proven product to them. And again, when it first came out, I was a little bit like, did they just sew this together? Because with baby's clothes, with baby products, there's all this testing, flame retardant, like all this stuff you have to do.
Yeah.
So clearly there had to be some knowledge. But again, when she did talk about the science, I was kind of like, all right, they know what they're doing, because they could have staged that baby to do it, considering it was their baby. So I wasn't really like, I was like, does that really work? But I think
We need a fast time lapse of 12 hours of sleeping.
I think so.
You know what I mean? That would have been
Yeah.
proof of concept.
Yeah, I think so. So yeah, the price points, you know, it varies from $34.95 to $39.95, which I think is a good price point for a lot of baby stuff. I don't have a baby, but like 6 of my friends have had kids, so I've been buying lots of baby stuff.
It's
And
a
plus,
small
you only
price.
need 1 or 2.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, you don't need more than that.
Yeah, I get like, but don't like babies get sweaty when they sleep a little bit?
So you keep washing
You
it.
keep washing it.
Yeah,
What, are you going to wash it while the baby's sleeping?
It's not like they're
Forget
out.
it. I think they would have more than 1 or 2.
Okay, I think we can go with 4.
Okay.
4's a good
Maybe.
number.
Whatever.
Four's a good number. They've already sold 25,000 pieces in a little over 2.5 years. They've done like around $1 million of sales, so that's pretty awesome.
Only starting with $700.
Yeah,
too.
that's what I found fascinating.
This story, and again, I feel like it was set up this way. Maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like it was set up this way. Of course, they have to figure out what is the first story for the new season. It was truly the American dream story.
Yeah.
It was like facing some tragedy, figuring out a business, you know, like the camaraderie of the community, of all the people that were buying this stuff. $500 to start a website, $200 in fabric. Like, I mean, what else?
Can't beat it.
It really does show. And, you know, I started my first business with, I remember when I put everything that I had into it, I had $23.14 to my name when I started my clothing line. So I know that it really is that moment of like, oh, let's risk it all or not. But to build something and not have that much risk is a totally different, like, they made it happen. So I don't know. I
like the husband's response. You better learn to sew.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's it.
And again, you know, not only did they have that, they were really smart. So when they were saying the comments, like when Robert was like, I mean, when Mr. Wonderful was like, so if I give you the $200K right now, can you triple your business? She was like, yes.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like, I really, really liked them. What else, you know, what else stood out from them with you guys? Anything?
The only question I didn't answer was the retail. If they were interested in doing retail or just staying online.
Well, they said
And
they
that
want to
caused a
try it.
problem.
Yeah.
That's right. That's ultimately what they said, that they're going to give it a
Lori and
test.
Damon wanted retail, at least to try it. Lori was all about retail, and Mr. Wonderful, he seems, I can't believe this was a business dear and near to his heart.
Yeah,
You know, that was a very shocking story. He was like, this is my family business from years ago. It was like he wanted to like do it for the family. Like,
Absolutely.
and I really like that they didn't fall into that and go with him just because
Why? He could have actually been a good shark.
I mean, he's a smart guy. I'm sure he can make any business work, and I'm sure that there's knowledge because his family already tried it. But I mean, something like this, you kind of want Damon.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and they wanted to work with him going into it too.
Yeah.
What I really liked about them is that they were just so knowledgeable about their community, and that this business was really built off of social media.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the thing too, and that's for me, even though they didn't know the answer to that and to the going to retail, I mean, when you go to retail, there's a whole different animal. Like they were saying, you have to meet your sell-throughs, you have to get EDI, you have to get all these compliances in order to ship that way, which costs money. And then if you don't have the sell-through right, you have to take your margins down. You know, like it's a whole different animal. So for them to not really know that answer, I didn't think was so bad, because I don't think they knew exactly everything that goes into it.
Which is why I think it was so important for them to work with Damon.
Exactly.
Because he obviously knows all of that.
Right. Okay, anything else about the sleeping baby, the Zippity Zip? I love the name. Zippy used to be my clown name when I was a clown, so this resonated with me. Moving on.
Zippy?
I just
Zippy
like
the
Lori's
clown.
comment about I will. There's no royalty attached. I will pay for you guys to make this deal with.
With Kevin.
Yeah, it was the first one where he wasn't like, I'm just gonna get $1 forever.
Yeah.
Which, all right. Anything else before we move on to the hammer and nails?
Nope. Let's hammer it home.
Hammer it on. Okay, so next we have Michael Elliott. He comes into the tank with this unique concept for men's grooming. What do you guys think right away?
Well, I love it. I will say I live in West Hollywood, and there's probably more men at the nail salon than women where I go. But anyways, I always ask for my boyfriend to come with me. I'm like, Steve, you need a pedicure. Can you come with me to the nail salon? And he's like, he always says, hell no, I'm not coming. So he was watching this with me. I'm like, oh my gosh, we have a place that you can go to. It's in LA too. He's like, I would never go there still.
Why did he say he'd never go there still?
He has no interest in it.
It's kind of a weird thing for me because, like, it feels like this is the only place it would really work.
In Los Angeles?
Yeah. And then it's kind of odd, too, because they talked about having TVs and headphones on the whole time, and it kind of takes the personality out of it, and that's kind of, I don't know.
I'm gonna get a lot of, but I feel like if you made it
you get your
flamboyant, then okay, obviously it would work for gay men. But to make it like a men's manly nail salon, nah,
Would you go to it?
no.
No.
Yeah. I kind of agree with what you're saying, Phil, in a sense, but I also think that more so now than maybe like 10 years ago, there's more dudes getting manicures and pedicures.
Yeah.
Right.
And pretty much the feeling across the board, and I know this isn't an absolute, it feels and looks the same when you go to those places. So having a place, but I like what Damon said, that there's something in New York where they tailor suits and there's a bar.
Yeah, there needs to be
and
a
this,
bar.
that, and the other. Like if all that was part of it, I would rather go there. Like,
Yeah, if
you know
the
what I
bar
mean?
was involved in stuff like that, I'd totally go.
Because it's basically you're tricking me. You're saying I'm going to the bar and I happen to get cool nails.
Right.
That's
And
what
a lot of-
I'm getting.
And a lot of the reasons why, because again, you want the upsells, you want the things to grow this business. And I almost feel like they were, saddened that he didn't wind up getting a deal because this guy was so successful in so many avenues. He built up all these different things. And, I was really sad to see the way that it worked out. But I don't think that I think it's a good idea. I don't think it's ironed out yet.
Agreed.
Yeah, it's just not specific enough yet, I don't think.
Well, I think it is really specific, but I think that they really didn't like the fact that he just wanted to go right off and franchise it too.
Yeah, that was a problem.
Yeah. Anything else?
Damon really, I thought he could make a deal with him, but be out of respect for maybe just working with him, because sometimes I've seen deals like that go down and it just didn't. But it's one of those people that is going to turn this into something. He's too successful in life not to do something with us.
Right. And that was, I'm kind of with you, Phil, in the respect of, I thought Damon was going to be like, okay, I'm going to partner with you, but we're going to add tailoring and we're going to add this and we're going to sell t-shirts and we're going to brand this thing so that then we can franchise it rather than just keeping it the way it was. And I don't think he was interested in all that. Like, I don't think it was an open conversation. It was kind of like, I have this thing that I want to make money off of and sell.
Yeah.
What I always wonder is if people that are watching this show, right, they're like, oh, that's a good idea. I should do this too. Because obviously there can be more than one hammer.
Yeah,
nails.
in this case, it was exactly
anyone
like
could
that.
really do this too. So they could take the Sharks, criticisms and what their advice and really make a kick-ass salon for men too. So I wonder if that happens a lot.
I'm sure it does. But then, oh, here we go. I'm sure it does. But in the same sense, this business is going to, like, more people are going to know about Hammer and Nails now and go. And it'd be interesting. Like, I kind of want to go. Like, we should totally go.
We should go.
Yeah, we should all make family trip. Phil, you're coming. Family Shark Tank trip.
All right. Only if we can watch Shark Tank.
While we're there.
Yeah, we totally can.
And again, he, wanted $200,000 for 20% of his company as well. And, no one just, the calculations didn't add up for anybody to give him a deal. So, anything else before we move on?
No deal.
No deal.
We didn't hammer that one home, did we?
That one was not, he didn't nail it. He did not nail it. Next, we've got Amber. We've got Bill and Kyle. Is that who it was?
Kyle, yeah.
I want to vomit.
They
I do
just
too.
graduated.
can't.
It started off really bright for them.
Yeah, started amazingly. You know what? Go to CES any given year and see 500 of these crappy things.
Yeah.
Go.
You know what I don't understand yet? And again, I'm give it back to me. Give it back to me. Why? Because I know you got something, Phil. Why I can't be at a bar with you, Phil? We're gonna go out and we're gonna have a drink, okay? All of a sudden, I'm like, holy shit, my thing's at 10%. Oh my god, I want to go take a picture. Why can't I plug something into your phone, assuming you have the same phone as me, and steal some juice from you?
Why are we stealing my juice?
You need to write that down.
But you know what I mean? Like, why can't you power? Like, why does there have to be power running through something in an outlet? Like, I don't understand why that doesn't exist
I
yet.
feel like everyone's phone is always almost dead. So that would
But not really. Like, if you have a Mophie or whatever. But anyway, what?
Well, the thing I don't like about this one is like it doesn't. It takes a long time still.
It's dumb.
You know what I mean? Like, you plug it in at the bar or whatever, but it'll still charge for a really long time. It doesn't save you any time or heartache. And most people still have the Mophie cases or the battery cases or whatever.
Right.
And if you're going to a bar, it's like nowadays, it's like find a need and fill it. Like, now bars. This morning I was at a bar watching football, and every chair has a hook underneath it. So you can put your jacket, your bag, whatever. Why not just have an outlet underneath there, or a USB cord coming out to charge your phone right underneath there? That to me makes sense. this product didn't make sense. No less was it not even complete. How do you show up on the Shark Tank and your thing doesn't work?
Right,
there's
didn't
no
even have the
doors.
doors.
Yeah,
It didn't close. We're fixing that. We've tested it.
yeah. Where are the doors? We forgot them.
I would have just said I was out right away from there. Like, you show up with an unfinished
Yeah.
product. Like, who does that? You know when the auditions are like. And
Yeah.
how did they let them get through casting with a product that wasn't
No,
finished?
we talked about casting, and it's a matter of like, will this be cool, and like, or could this like, it's not about a good product. It's just like, okay,
An
is this an
entertainment.
interesting idea?
Yeah.
Right.
And
This
will it
was
be
not.
It
funny to
was.
watch
I mean,
them
in some
fail?
sense, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was an interesting concept and idea. It wasn't functional.
I just love that they're like, it's your fingerprint. Like
Yeah,
that
I
must
like-
be so difficult to do though. And Robert obviously shut them down
Yeah.
immediately.
He talked about having to spend $50,000 on a fingerprint scanner for something at his business, and they built this thing for $1,000, which that price point doesn't make any sense.
Right.
Like everybody talked about. So it doesn't make much, like, you'd be tapping the thing all night, doors open and closing. It doesn't make any sense.
Doesn't make any sense. I think what they were trying to do with timing wise, it seems like once the iPhone came out with the thumbprint that unlocks it, I think they were trying to be like, ooh, there's technology that we can do cool things with the fingerprint, but I don't think they've figured it out.
Yeah.
And same thing with the iPhone. Like, if your phone or your finger is wet at all, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
So
The other thing too is that I saw like they had the cables going through it, not USB inside each door. And so would they have to put new cables in every time a new phone came out?
That's interesting. Maybe.
yeah.
That kind of went along with the whole it not being finished thing, because it seemed kind of like an afterthought.
One time buying of $2,000.
$2,000.
Oh, but in 2 years I gotta buy a new one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy, and their valuation was ridiculous too. They wanted $200,000 for 20%. It was kind of interesting to me that the first three wanted the same amount of money. I'm like,
That's
is
what I
this
was
whole
thinking,
show
too.
gonna be this?
Yeah.
Like, is that how they're gonna do it now? Like, we have
Yeah.
all these companies that are valued at $2 million. They're gonna do this, or valued at $1 million. They're gonna, you know what I mean?
I feel like that's a safe answer though,
What do you mean?
because $200,000 seems to be a good number that you'd want to get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it's like,
seems
okay,
fair.
let
Like a value $1 million. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, okay, we can give 20% of the business away.
Yeah.
Anything less is
It
going to be
seems-
insulting. Anything more is like, we don't want to give that much away.
Yeah.
Right,
It's
right.
it's a safe number.
It's a safe. Yeah, you guys are right. Was there anything else that stood out about the Amber?
I want to see Lori's product. She said,
Oh,
I
yeah.
have a different.
Yes.
Light years ahead.
Yeah, that's a pretty bold
Light
statement.
years. It must
I
be
wonder
like
if it's out
wireless
there.
and instantaneous.
Maybe,
it has
maybe,
to be.
Yeah, that
maybe she
charges
can get
it.
juice from a different phone.
You know, I'm
Just-
more
have to
thinking
follow up.
about that. I have two cell phones, and one is always more charged than the other one. Like that would be really convenient for me just to plug it in and steal some juice from one phone to the other.
If you're at a bar, somebody's got juice. It's like the person that's trying to bum a cigarette at a bar. Yo, you
Yeah.
got a cigarette? Yo, you got some juice? You know,
I
like,
feel like the more we talk
like-
about it, somebody's gonna steal the idea though.
right. And I feel
So-
like people would actually like hoard their phone more than their cigarettes.
Yeah.
They'd be like, you're not getting my juice. I might need to post that
Right.
selfie.
Totally.
So, all right, cool. So Amber did not get a pitch. Lori goes in and says that it's not the shortest pitch that we ever had on Shark Tank, which was kind of funny. But, you know,
Which we don't necessarily know, but there have been some pretty bad pitches. Though.
there have been some bad.
Last season there was a pretty bad pitch. I don't
But the
remember what it was.
doctors,
Yeah, like, nah, but that was they were just. It was the Facebook.
What's the
for
worst
doctors.
one that you remember? Oh, yeah, the Facebook for doctors. That was
That
terrible.
was terrible.
or like Twitter for doctor. Yeah, it was bad.
All right. Anything else before we move on to the Bombas?
Bombas.
No.
Bombas. All right. What do you guys think about the Bombas? They want $200,000 for 5%
Ridiculous.
of their company.
I love socks. Like I can really appreciate like a very soft. I love fabrics though. Okay, I'm in fashion, so I really appreciate like a cushiony sock. So I was all about this. The evaluation, and it's a lot of money, which obviously they didn't get. So
Yeah.
but I think it's a cool company, and I love what they said, which I had no idea, that socks are the #1 requested item in homeless shelters. So I love that
I
they're
did not know that.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. But it kind of makes sense, you know? So I love that they're donating one pair of socks for everyone that's purchased.
Yeah, they actually do get a deal, though.
Yeah, no, I know they got, no, but not for the 5%.
Oh, I thought,
Right.
right.
My favorite thing about this one
was
was
like,
they're talking about how they got rid of the seam in the toes. I'm like all for that. It's like, holy crap.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I think
4 million.
you know I 100% respect what they're doing, and it's a great product and things like that. If you get into sock science with me, no, but here's the thing. To me, a sock is a sock.
So you don't care that it's Peruvian Pima cotton, and you don't care that
My foot's still gonna sweat in it, or it's gonna be cold in it, one way or the other.
Around the heel.
See, I think that means you don't have nice socks. Like when I go into my sock drawer, I literally like come in here, I swear. I was like, I grabbed one pair and I was like, no, I don't want to wear that one. And I grabbed another pair because it was softer and more cushiony, and that's what I wanted to wear today.
But you're right, though. I mean, $9 for one pair versus
That's
$9 for 12 pairs.
Yeah, no,
or
that's a
something.
lot of
There's no
money.
comparison.
Yeah.
And you know, I get they're trying to do the whole like 1 for 1, that one sock gets donated, and I appreciate that. I feel like
No,
a lot
I
of
give them a lot of respect, 100%, and I think that it's a great product, and I think they are better than standard socks. I'm just saying, for me personally, as a shark, I'm out. Continue.
All right.
Understandable.
I get it. I totally get it. I think something that stood out for me with this one was that Mark called Mr. Wonderful the Godfather Bozo.
Yeah.
That makes me very happy.
perfect, yeah.
I love the banter, and I feel like last season it wasn't until the end that the banter got it built up over the season, and now it's like the beginning, and they're starting in with it. So I'm kind of excited about it.
I think you know how they kind of wear the same outfits.
Well, yeah.
Well,
I mean,
yeah,
yeah,
they
bunch.
do. Yeah.
They filmed this over the course of 9 days, I believe.
Yeah.
Wow.
The whole season?
Yeah. You know this.
I don't know if you guys
that's-
could tell, but at the beginning of the episode, Mr. Wonderful's eyes were really red and watery. I don't know if it's from crying or just from being in the studio for 16, 18 hours. But
Yeah, it's pretty long.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I didn't realize that they did it that quickly.
Yeah, no, they knock it out because their schedules are so insane, and so you know, I think what's nice, obviously the banter towards the end of the season, but now that they have it, you know, they can kind of distribute it any which way they want. Because again,
Right.
if they're especially for the one day, I mean, you got to think that they shoot out.
Well, they're just delirious then at the end of 9 days. It's not about them growing a bond or banter. They're just like, get me out of here. I don't care anymore.
Yeah,
So that's why the banter flies differently.
Yeah.
So we go back and forth. You know, Robert is clearly like the sock guy in the beginning. Well, it seems that he knows his socks, and he's asking these questions like, why are these different? And then they go on, and there's like these 7 points. And which was interesting to me is that they didn't even get through. They asked a question, and they didn't even let them finish. We got like 4 points of why the socks were better. And I think the biggest thing that stood out for me, I don't know about you guys with this, was how they said they wanted to get the money to hire people. Like that was kind of a big
Yeah.
And I don't know, I kind of agree. It's like in any business in the beginning, you kind of have to do all of it yourself.
Yeah.
Number one, because you want to save money everywhere you can. Number two is because you, as a business owner, need to know how everything works for the
Right.
most. I mean, like, granted, you can go get a specialized person for social media or whatever, you know what I mean? But most of the nuts and bolts of the company,
But even
you
then,
want to
like,
know.
how many times, like, you know, the zipper baby thing, like that, it's not necessarily social media, but it's a social network of moms that they created themselves.
Right.
They didn't need money for that. They did it.
True. That's very, very
$700?
true. But I feel like
I'm surprised Damon went with this. To give him a line of credit, to do all of these things,
he
and
must
to
have really liked the socks.
maybe, and to you know, to 17.5%, and they wanted to go 15. He got gypped.
I think he got gypped too.
Who, Damon?
Absolutely.
I think so.
He's gonna overwork his ass for so
And he's
little
gonna
equity.
finance
Yeah.
all the
Find
inventory.
inventory, yeah.
But I'm sure too, like after the show, and you know, we'd love to know the real answer for this. After the show, I'm sure they exactly iron out what all that means,
Yeah,
like what that looks like. You know what I mean? Like they're not gonna do the boring specifics. Like, you know what I mean? And it's
No,
like they
I
would say,
get
like,
that.
the devil's in the details. You know what I mean? So Damon's not going to take a deal where he's going to get screwed at the end of the day.
Right.
Agreed.
Anything else before we move on? And again,
End of episode 1. Please turn your page.
Turn your pages. And I know we're going a little quick tonight, but we've got 2 episodes to take care of, so we're gonna keep on going. And this is where we see.
Oh, we also got we in this episode, quote unquote, we got the update at Target.
Yeah, I was gonna do them together later, but that's fine. Go ahead, tell us about it.
That was it.
Well, tell us about it. What happened there?
As seen on Shark Tank.
Mr. Cuban, or as the league on FX calls him, Mark from Cuba, he had a crutch.
Yeah, what
Yeah,
was that
I was
about?
like,
He totally had a crutch.
he definitely.
And I thought it was really.
They kept cutting away, like, just show it, because, you know, it just looked...
You see it.
He had a crutch and he looked miserable and he looked like he was reading from an iPhone like that was above the camera right over here the entire time.
It was a little awkward.
It was.
And it was funny.
But I'm glad.
It's
But
funny
cool.
because it was like Mark and Barbara at Target, and Mark had like
Like they ever go to
5
Target.
of them. Right, but Mark had 5 of the companies,
that's
and
not
Barbara
true.
had 1.
I think honestly, I know a lot of people, and I think Mark especially would be the type of person to do these types of things where he would shop at Target and all these other
Think
places.
so?
I know there's a billionaire who licenses out clothing for Disney and things like that, and he always goes to these stores to see, okay, what are people buying? Otherwise, how the hell is he supposed to make stuff?
I wonder if that's where he got injured, got on the crutch. That'd be ironic.
Slipped at
Good
Target.
story. Yeah.
He's suing Target.
Yeah.
Rumors.
That's really why he was there that day.
Totally. But yeah, we had the update. It was Kistix, Kazam, La La Land, Ulace, Monkey Mac, and Ryan's Barkery, which turned to Ryan's Ruffery.
Here's the sad part, and I mean this in the least disrespectful way I can. They said their household names. I watched the show, and I had forgotten all of these products.
Same.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't
I
remember.
completely forgot about the Ryan's Ruffery or whatever. By the way, the Barkery was a much better name.
Then referee.
Yeah.
I like the. I wonder why. Maybe there was a name that was close to it.
Probably,
There was
yeah.
probably some trademarking issues. I remember Kistix. It's where like it's like banana and strawberry. Then you kiss and you make the flavors. You don't remember that?
No.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember, because they were kissing.
Yeah, there was some toys. The U-lace was the one lace where you like pulled it and it like laced your sneaker without having to tie it.
I don't know that one.
I don't remember that.
We talked about it. Okay. Anyway, but
You know how the
much,
sharks like get exhausted?
right?
I don't remember anything. From
You just need a fin, don't you?
yeah.
But yeah, and again, this was also, driving home the American dream. They were talking about the American dream and hard work. But
They also sold the crap out of the show. They're like, because of Shark Tank every Friday night on ABC.
Yeah.
Which is great. Fine. I don't care. Whatever.
Well, but in the same sense, it's like those 6 companies together before Shark Tank did, I think, $1.3 million. And after Shark Tank, it was $7.7 million.
Yeah.
That's a lot. That's like almost $6.5 million difference. Like, I'd be saying I'd wear a shirt that says Shark Tank every day. I think Shark Tank! Shark Tank!
I want to know this. Do any of these companies get cut from the portfolio if they're not producing as much as the other ones?
Probably.
Like, if I had a portfolio of 20... and I wanted to take on some new business, I'd be like, you know what? You're the company that produces least for me. You're cut.
Maybe.
I'm sure that's all in the deal.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's all in the deal. Like, they're not going to stay, especially if a company starts losing money, or they're not going to reinvest, or maybe they could reinvest for more, but there's got to be, I don't know. I really would like to see that. They always talk about the good ones, the ones that work, and I would love to see a lot more statistics on what didn't work.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Just for curiosity, not, you know what I mean? Like, I think more get a no than a deal.
Yeah.
I don't think it's 50-50.
No, I don't think so.
So, all right, cool. So, yeah, we start the new episode. They have a little new intro. We see Robert's fluffy hair. It's just updated. I
Waving
mean,
in
it's
the
a lot of
breeze.
the same, nothing new and crazy in the update.
No.
But it was cool.
Some word
It's just a
changes.
little freshened up. So we start this one off with Ruminate. And these 2 girls come in and they want $500,000 for 5% of their company.
Absurd.
What the hell is this product? Like, really?
I like the idea of it.
I love the idea of it.
But I looked at it and I thought it was going to be way cooler.
Me too.
Yeah, it looks super cheap,
like more
too.
It looks
flashy.
cheesy.
Yeah.
Legos are way better.
Legos.
Let's
Lincoln
get.
Mugs,
Here's the thing.
Connects.
Let's
Lincoln
get
Mugs.
girls into Legos and Connects.
But and their whole pitch to me was like, you know, Lori, if you could invent stuff with your toys, like when you're 6, like whatever she played with when she was 6 allowed her to cultivate her inventing stuff. It's not like at 6. I mean, I get we have some young kids on here and there's young entrepreneurs, and I get that whole thing, but it's not. You know what I mean? Like if Barbara was building buildings instead of, you know, people change careers. It takes a path to get to what they're really wind up doing. So I just kind of, when they started talking, I was just like, what? No. What?
I'm not really sure why they aimed it specifically at girls either.
When then they took it back.
Yeah. So I'm not really sure why they did that. I mean, Lori sounded like she wanted that to happen, but it seems like something that...
Here's the thing. It sounds like this would be a great project for, like, government funding. Yeah, how many times in the past they've like, we need to educate kids on math better, so like there'd be incentives to get kids better at math, and there'd be government funding for it.
But what would this get kids better at? What?
Engineering,
here's the thing.
physics,
creating.
Like, I don't buy it.
No. But there is a discrepancy in colleges to have females in like computer, computer science, engineering, all that stuff. There's a huge deficiency for women in those areas. And so, hey, if this was one of the ways to be able to do it, then fine. But I think
But do you think this product fills that need?
You know what? I think there's better. I do think if you got females into Legos and Connects and maybe kind of tied it in that way and just made those portions of it more feminine, especially Legos, like what can't you really do with Legos?
Yeah.
Right.
You could build a Barbie dream house out of Legos. There's nothing stopping you from it. And just make pink Lego blocks. Whatever the hell it is.
Yeah, I just didn't follow this one.
See, I like this. And I like the fact that, well, originally they wanted to market it towards girls because young girls can get their parents to buy them anything. It's crazy how much money they spend. And what I liked is that you can turn it on. Like they had the little windmill going. So I don't know. I thought it was really interesting. My favorite part was then when the car didn't work for Robert. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
He was like, oh, you could push it along with it. He was
Yeah.
like totally defeated by it.
I'm kind of
But I
surprised
think it's cool
that they didn't bring up a safety thing with this because there's electricity and stuff. I mean, it's not going to be that much of a shock or something, but I'm surprised nobody brought it up because typically they do with this type of thing.
Yeah.
And I wonder what the ages are. Did they say that?
I don't think they did. No.
No,
That's like a lot of small pieces.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's crazy because they did $1.7 million in sales in like a year and a half.
Yeah.
They're on track to do $5 million this year. It's like almost
But
600 Toys R Us. Like they have 1,500 Radio Shacks. Like everyone's on.
Yeah.
Like what am I missing?
Sold them.
They do have the orders for them.
They have the orders, but what if they don't fulfill?
I mean, as long as they produce, they fulfill, and they'll get paid. If it doesn't sell through, then they can maybe want to send them back and give them margin money. But they have like a PO for those orders.
Cool.
Which I feel.
Because I know it's like I know with magazines in particular, right? This is the big scam, ladies and gentlemen.
Here we go.
No, it's true, right? So let's say, I won't name names, but every magazine does this. But Phil Svitek's magazine, right? I have a subscribership, right? They always give it that fancy term, or readership of 6 million magazines a month, right? I'm a monthly. And I would go out on the shelves and I would oversell. That is because you want it to be full. You don't want it to look not full, right? And then half that inventory eventually it just gets sent back to me. So technically my readership of 6 million is actually cut in half just automatically off of that. So the point is that you're going to oversell.
No, that's not how it works here.
It's not like the magazine business?
I don't think so at all.
So how does it work?
It's a wholesale order. It's like, so when I had my line and when I shipped to Neiman Marcus, if they wanted 10,000 units, I don't say I'm going to send you 12 or I'm going to send you 10 and they're not going to sell. Like they want 10,000 units and they expect, and it's so demanding with stores like that. If I was to send them 20 extra shirts by accident, I would get charged like $500 for each of that. You know what I mean? Like they're so particular with the amount that you send them.
So what was the through
And then
rate?
if they don't sell, you have to have a sell through. For each store, it's different. You have to have a sell-through. And if it doesn't sell through, because there's a certain amount of time the product will be on the floor, then there's a certain amount of time the product can go on sale. Then it can go on clearance. And if it doesn't do all that, they can, like, if half of them don't sell, then they can send them back to them. But it's not like they would never have the intention of sending more than would sell. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense? Like that, they'd be losing money if that happened.
Okay.
But But anyway, clearly they're doing something right. Like, people like this. And yeah, I did agree with Barbara that it was that in the beginning they were like, this is for girls, this is for girls. Engineers were 2 mechanical and electrical engineers at Stanford, but there's not enough girl stuff, and there's, you know, the girl in the picture, and then it was like, but boys play too. So they didn't stay married to their idea.
Right.
So
How do they get the boys to, like, I don't understand.
They said apparently the boys came to them, but I don't understand.
This is a weird
Just
line in
knocking on the
general.
door.
yeah, this is a weird.
I just can't get past like how cheap it looks.
It did look like
really
it looked like
cheap.
it was like plasticky.
Yeah, or like cardboard or some kind of paper thing,
Yeah.
and they're asking for what, $10 million? I mean, it's ridiculous.
crazily.
Well,
Yeah.
I like their ruminators too, though. That they have this like group of girls supporting them, hashtagging ruminators and showing what they build. So I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's a cool shtick. It's a cool concept. I don't know that I would ever buy it. And I don't know that if I had a child, if buying this product, if I would believe that it would make them smarter or...
Here's the thing. I think
it makes them more hands-on.
what never really happened was none of the sharks got to build anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if I brought in Legos, hey, just make a house or make this, and you know, you don't have to necessarily show it, but okay, at least you have a feel of how it actually the pieces connect.
But I feel with Legos too, you kind of inherently know how it works. With this, I don't know if that's the case.
Well,
Like
but see,
how
that's the thing
pieces
too.
connect
Like
together.
if Legos made, and this is stereotypical, but just to make the point, if Legos made some pink set of something that had flowers that spun and the
Right.
windmills, Legos could make a female engineering case of stuff that would
Right.
work better. I feel like, but anyway, who knows? Ruminators could be around for 50 years.
Maybe
and
we'll
could
get
be
the
there.
next Ruminator movie.
That was awesome. But so a couple people go out, and then Mark, he gets like kind of tearied, and he wants to be he wants to like give him a deal, but he wants his daughters to be included, which I really respect what he's saying, because pretty much what he's saying, without trying to be super cocky, is that I have all the money in the world and my kids don't ever have to work, and I don't want them to be jerks because of this. I want to teach them the value of $1 type thing. And I feel like that's really awesome that he's aware of that and wants to do stuff to fix that quote unquote problem that might arise.
Totally.
The best thing about him though is he always sits back with this grimace on his face. You can never expect that he's going to say something like that. And for the first part of the pitch, he was just kind of sitting back, looked like he was pissed off at the idea, but he went for it.
Yeah. And then how Lori chimed in, and I like the chick starter instead of the Kickstarter.
Yeah.
That was pretty funny. But so these two girls, they get exactly what they want. They get $500,000 for 5%, and they get Lori and Mark. Like they're now maybe
And 2 future employees.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
And now this thing might be huge, but still, like, I don't know. I feel like usually I feel, and I don't know how you guys feel about this, but usually I'm like, yeah, they got a deal. That thing's great. This
You
one
are
I was
not
just
excited.
like, no.
Well, it's funny because Barbara and Kevin afterwards, they're like, you guys are idiots. What did you do? And Barbara said something about how Mark is so rich and just loves his kids too much.
Yeah.
And that's
He
it.
spoiled them again.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Let me just go spend $250,000 and you guys can go play it.
Yeah.
Make some ruminators. They'll have their own, like, they'll be on the box next time.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So anything else before we move on from the ruminators?
No.
Next, Phil, who comes in?
Tiggs!
Oh my God.
Tiggs! I love this guy, man. I love
Oh,
Tiggs, and I
so
love his
good.
floating mug. I want a floating mug. We should have AFTERBUZZ floating mugs.
I got at $29 a mug.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I mean, they
expensive.
look cool, but $29 a mug. I get mine
And
at like
by
the
the way,
99
that's
cents
Send
store.
them
standard.
some.
That's standard design. Try putting one of these bad boys on them. The
Yeah.
logo. Now we're talking about
Look
$45 a mug.
Yeah, but that's afterwards. They don't, like, they make these mugs and then they boom the thing on the thing.
No, yes, I
Oh,
understand
you're saying
that.
customizing it costs more. Tiggs, hook us up. Hook us up, Tiggs.
I think Barbara said this, but I could never see someone getting a set of 8 of them.
No.
It's a gift. And I think it's a fun gift for someone. Like you buy them this $40 mug or $30 mug and some coffee beans, and you're like, here you go, Merry Christmas, Grandpa, or Uncle John or whatever. But you don't buy a set of 8 of them.
I would totally have a set of these in my house.
Really?
Yeah, I really would. And I don't. Maybe I'm whatever.
I could see this for the modern decor living style. Like, hey, I'm with Mr. Wonderful though. I wonder how much it breaks.
Yeah, I just loved him so much. I've got 5 different kinds of white. Is pretty much what he said when he was saying the colors. Like, he's just smart.
It all looked alike.
Well, yeah, that's the whole point. That he only had one mug, and he was like, "I've got home team white, I've got this white," just to like try and make it better. But he wanted $75,000 for 15%. In his first year, he did $105,000 with the sales, which was kind of funny because Mr. Wonderful asked him the question, and then he tried to set the tone of what he was going to say, and he's like, "Oh God!" And then when he said $105,000, it wasn't bad.
No.
So I feel like he should have just been okay with that. And he got his price down. It used to be like $12 landed.
12 to 4, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like he's doing something right. But, Tiggs didn't get a deal.
No go.
And he cried.
Yeah, he
There was
cried
lots
at
of
the
crying.
recap. That was so sad.
Which is much better than the Amber guys.
Yeah,
You're
that's-
maybe
that's
if
true.
you have a
That's
voice,
true.
said,
That's true.
man.
Yeah.
He also had another idea, which was more of like a Collins like a tall glass that had the coaster built in too, which I feel like the Sharks kind of liked better.
Yeah, I feel like maybe it would work if it was sold as like a separate accessory you can almost put on any mug or any cup.
Well,
I
but
feel
then it's
there's
like a
money in
coaster.
that.
Then it is.
That's true.
Here's the thing. I commend Lori for what she would have been the shark to make this deal, and Barbara could have too. But it just right now it was too early on for him to be at this stage.
Yeah, I think
all it
Lori
is.
said it right. If it was around $8.99, $10, that would be doable probably. But $30, that's $200 for a 6-pack.
He's got to set
a lot of
20,000
money.
units.
It's a lot.
20,000 units of this has got to be made in order to.
Yeah, about that.
Yeah, that's wild.
That's a lot of units. Because here's the thing: if you and all of a sudden, here's what I hate: you make all of these things, and then you think of a cool add-on feature or redesign.
Yeah, you got 20,000 of them sitting in the closet.
Yeah.
Their garage.
We got to sell these before I make my cool design.
Yeah, that's tough. That's the type of thing where you need like a partnership with a factory or something. You know what I mean? So that you can, number one, not have to get 20,000 units. Number two, or 19,500, whatever they needed. And then you can make those adjustments. And you got to know your product.
Yeah.
When do you think this was taped?
July.
July.
July. Well, I hope from that time to now he's built an awesome website and is selling tons. Because I feel like everyone who watched on Friday
Let me
night
see your phone.
do it.
Nice AfterBuzz.
going
Look at that
down
nice
live.
AfterBuzz phone case.
Wow.
Check it out.
Not sold in stores.
Yeah.
But you know what? For a nice price, premium price, we can get these to you home too.
Oh yeah.
Are you looking up floating mugs?
All right. Is there
.com.
anything
I'm
else?
hoping that exists.
Anything else about floating mugs before we move on?
I just hope he's not getting yelled at home.
We love Tiggs.
All
I
right.
do love Tiggs. And next, oh boy, the wedding wagon. I wanted this to be cool.
This was insane for many reasons.
Was I the only one creeped out by it's like a creepy looking unmarked white van? That's kind
What
of
do you
weird.
think, like coroner?
That's kind of weird.
I got where
Yeah,
you're going.
like
And
I
it
thought
opened
the
up, like,
logo
back of
sucked.
it.
Like I thought it could have been. It was like the old stagecoach wagon. Like it was
Yeah.
dated. I thought it could have been way cooler with like some flowers or a diamond or something weird.
And did they say, did the two guys pitching it, are they the ones that performed the weddings?
Yes.
Like a package deal?
Yeah, it was pretty. It was probably like them. Honestly, for me, great concept.
Yeah.
Great concept.
Weddings on the go.
Well,
Who gets married? I mean,
I don't like
No,
it.
here's the thing. They talked about the other cities besides Vegas and how it could work. That
Yeah.
they've done research. Fine. Maybe I'm willing to buy it.
Right, but I think the thing is that people want to get married. There's only so many. Maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like there's so many places. Like if I wanted to get married at AfterBuzz TV, who's going to do
Do
it? But if I call the wedding wagon, they can come and do it.
And have it out in the parking lot, though.
I have ordained ministers here at AfterBuzz TV that can wed you.
And I don't need the wagon.
You don't need
You don't need the wagon.
All right. Screw the wagon. No, I'm just kidding.
And you won't have
No.
floating mugs there because you can't even buy them right now on the website.
Well, there you go.
So
But
That's really upsetting.
The thing that stuck out to me, the wedding wagon, they wanted $125,000 for 20% of their company, and the thing that really for me was that these guys don't know what they're doing.
They sold their company
Yeah.
for that much.
it's unbelievable.
For half of what they made in sales, right?
Yeah, so by the time the show was taped to by the time the show aired to now, the guys which Kristina, when we were driving here, brought up a good point. Now they just did marketing and promotions for these other people.
Yeah.
They've probably made twofold what they've paid for
And
already.
they sold the van in what undoubtedly would be the most
#1.
profitable city
Yeah.
with
ever.
the rights to the whole city.
Right.
So it's like they can't come back.
Can we just...
They had to pay for their
General-
floating mugs. That's what happened.
As a general rule of thumb, you do not sell your entire company for less than you make that calendar year! Are you insane?
Yes, they
There's
were
got to be
insane.
more of a story there. That's just
Yeah, there has to
They
be.
were
absurd.
drunk and deals were signed. Please explain.
Maybe they, dude, they were in Vegas. Maybe they owed somebody money and they needed money quick.
Probably,
That's the story that I'm
probably.
going
Yeah,
with.
I like that.
There is someone coming after them and they're like, get rid of the wagon. Sell the wagon.
That's I bet you that's what happened.
Totally
Totally.
happened.
100%.
They married the wrong people. There's something scandalous going on that they thought that was a good
But
idea.
am I crazy? I know, like, it's crazy. I know you guys agree with that, but to sell a business less than you make
No.
in that calendar year,
Stupid.
Someone was coming
Yeah.
after them.
And
I
don't-
agree with Stef's theory.
I don't really say the word stupid, but man, shit, that was dumb.
Yeah.
Someone that was it. They probably owed money because it's funny too that they're asking now for that same 125. Do they think in their head that that's what their cost is to start? I don't know. It's crazy.
That's the
crazy.
thing. I think everything is going to be okay if they make the 125 back. That's all that's in their head.
Yeah,
The
like,
125. I got to
I
get
don't
it
know,
back.
man. $100 to get married. Their first year, they had $243,000,
but now you're bidding on an idea.
which anyone can do.
Right.
There's
If you
nothing
have people
to...
here, why don't we have the AfterBuzz
Right.
wedding wagon? The AfterBuzz Buzz. People can get married live on AfterBuzz
I
on
think
YouTube.
it would be better if they did it in a pickup truck. Don't
They
you
can
guys
just
think
walk
so?
up.
Instead of inside the back of a
There's
van?
like stairs. They can just like walk
Yeah.
up. Yeah.
Come on.
Fair enough.
Inside the
man.
back of a white unmarked van. It's sketchy. I don't
My
know.
other
I
big
like it.
point. I cannot believe that Kevin and Barbara...
Oh, I
Yeah.
know. I
Kiss.
Yeah.
They kissed with
When
kiss
the-
sticks
yeah,
too.
kiss sticks, yeah. Second
That's why I
time.
remember that. It's the second time they've kissed on air, and I was
Yeah.
like, and Barbara kind of got into it. She didn't just give like the peck; she gave the like. The,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I
She
don't
went
know,
all in.
man.
She went all
I
in.
don't know that it wasn't
That
just like.
Barbara.
Yeah, Barbara's like.
Who knows
"Whatever, I
what
can
happens
get
when she sends her husband out for golf on the weekend?
I don't know, Mr. Wonderful's tapping it. No, I'm kidding.
Please don't say that.
I'm kidding.
We're trying to be a respected show here.
We are.
ABC approved.
Sorry. Throw me under the bus. Throw me under the wagon.
Well, you said it.
But anyway, so yeah, pretty much we all agree this one was terrible.
Terrible.
Yeah.
The concept was good.
Concept was amazing. If you could do this, because they have these services where, and they had this on here too, where you're the photographer. If you're gonna go get engaged, someone can come and
Yeah.
like this is kind of where you could get the friend that could do the service to do it, but you're gonna have these other things. You know what I mean? Like it's like a step further, but it's still super low key, and it's the in between. But it's all the kinks weren't worked out,
No.
and it clearly they don't know what they're doing. If they sold their business for less than they made in a year.
Yeah, I mean, it's just,
I like the theory about it, where they knew what they were doing. They were just under the gun.
Yeah, they
Literally.
owed someone money in Vegas. They had to get rid of that van. All right.
right.
Anything else before we move on from the wedding wagon?
It takes
no.
$25,000 to franchise.
Yeah, that was. You can buy, like somebody said, you could buy the van for $25,000. So the franchise should be way more than that if it's actually going to be a profitable business.
You can buy a van for $2,000.
Yeah,
Well, like, or you can rent a van for like $1,000 for the month and go do
Right.
all these and make the money. Like, I don't know, man.
Do you guys notice how short Kevin was? He's like a little bit shorter than Barbara. It's always so surprising to me. He's a little bit shorter than Barbara.
Interesting. Did she have
Rewind it.
heels on?
Maybe.
Maybe. I don't know, man. That kid,
Maybe he
she
needs to
wanted
wear
that. All right, and the last pitch that we had tonight was Kronos. We had Eric and Philip come out. They wanted $150,000 for 15% of their company, and it was a precise putter.
Mm-hmm.
What'd you guys think about Kronos?
I don't like golf, but I'm into this idea.
Likewise.
Yeah. Yeah, they looked clean enough to eat off of. I mean, they looked
They
that good.
very sleek.
They
looked that
did
good.
look very sleek, and I like golf. I don't golf as much as I'd like to, but I do like the sport. The thing that stuck out for me with this was that they were really, really right on about the fact that they have a lot of distribution and their product is selling in Japan. Here in the U.S., it's like if you're going to have a product like this, you need a Tiger Woods or you need
Right.
somebody to be attached to it, and getting to that, you need that type of approval in order to sell a product like this in this country, because we won't buy stuff if it's just really good. We need someone else to tell us it's good.
Yeah.
So,
Donald Trump could work.
Donald Trump could work. And so it was really funny too how Mark first, he's like, do you guys know Dallas National? And they're like, no. He's like, it's one of the best golf courses in the country. And I've been a member for 10 years and I don't go. So I'm
out.
I've never been once. He's
Yeah.
like, I
Yeah.
hate golf.
Why would you do that? I mean, I guess just to have it though. Barbara apparently hates golf too, which
No, well, she loves it and she hates
She
it.
said it saved her marriage because her husband leaves every weekend.
What does that even mean?
it means she needs a healthy break.
Yeah.
She's
Okay.
got eyes on Kevin still. She's got eyes on Mr. Wonderful.
He did it this time. No, just kidding.
I'm just gonna stop going there.
But Lori, you know, the message is clear. Japan is the way to go. I'm out. Like, she's like, you're right, pretty much what you're saying. It's working somewhere else too. We're going to keep it there. And then, you know, Robert starts talking, like, it kind of comes out the story that's going on here. And again, we had a few tear-jerking stories here. And I believe it was Eric. Was that him? Do we know which one was which again?
Eric.
Philip was the one crying.
Oh,
Okay.
Philip was the
Philip
one. Oh, yeah,
crying,
you're
yeah.
right. So I feel like, you know, Philip told us this story about how he had this normal job and now he wants to start this company, and he has a fiance and he can't afford to have her out here, and her parents don't approve of what he's doing, which is really touching. And Mr. Wonderful cried.
Got out the hanky.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's like groundbreaking. I don't know that I've seen that before.
I've seen better stories he should have cried to.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And this, okay.
Like the first pitch of the first episode, which was his family business, apparently.
I
You
thought
think
he
would
was a
be
little
more-
teary,
He
too,
was.
there.
You think that's the one he would be like bawling at instead of this one.
Maybe they came right after them.
Yeah.
So he was a
That's
little
possible,
emotional
yeah.
to begin with.
Yeah, maybe. But they wanted $150,000 for 15%. And I like that they had the pitch line, you know, you drive for show, putt for dough. Like, that
Yeah.
is, you know, you need a good putt at the end of the game. So, I don't
But
know.
I also, they did have a great explanation, by the way, when Mr. Wonderful putted,
Right.
and it was just terrible.
He did. I wanted him to make that shot. It would have just, I mean, of course everyone wanted that to happen, but it was just swing and a miss. What were you going to say? Go ahead.
I was watching Robert because Robert's always, I feel like, the big kid who tests out these products, and you know he loves to golf. And he was sitting there so antsy in his chair, almost like, why did they ask me to do it? Why didn't they ask me to do it?
Right.
With his luscious hair.
Don't you know, Robert, you can just literally get up and ask. Like, how many times has Robert been like, can I test the product?
Yeah.
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 Well, he asked. He's like, can I see it?
Yeah. And he was like sitting there twiddling.
Yeah. He's
He,
like, this is
4 of them in his
beautiful.
lap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know he wanted that $500.
Yeah, he did.
But-
And he gets one. But I thought it was really cool what Barbara had to say too. She said, you know, she coached Philip into that after he had his breakdown, that he should write a letter to his fiance's parents and say, you
I
know,
agree.
thank you for the insult and not thinking I'm worthy enough for your daughter. Watch me now and watch what I do.
Yeah.
Like, that was just for her to come out and say that, like I'm a sap too. So, but I really it was just inspirational, and it was really true. Like, how many times in many different industries does someone tell you you're not good enough or this, that? Like, that's got to be the fuel to make people do stuff. You know,
You're not good enough.
I'm gonna host every freaking show here, Phil. No, I'm kidding. But you know what I mean? Like, that is the strength that people can turn that into fuel almost.
Yeah.
And some people can't, but a lot of people that can and do, that's the people that kind of get success.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really really touching what Barbara had to say. So, and then we got Robert, and again, he goes in and he makes it happen. He offers him $150,000 for 35%.
Boom.
And they counter after deliberating and discussing in Japanese, which
In
I thought
Japanese, yeah.
was kind of awesome.
Which was awesome too, because he did have this breakdown, but he was able to collect himself enough to be like, I'm still, like, he had enough courage to counter still.
Yeah.
Which I thought was, I thought that he would have just been
And
like,
their
Yeah.
advantage was they didn't have to leave the room.
Right, because they could.
Every time people leave the room, especially nowadays, like, something happens.
Yeah, completely changes.
You should totally blah, blah, blah.
Definitely.
right.
Because they have a
Yeah.
moment to discuss it with each
Yeah.
other.
So now they couldn't do that. They just had all the sharks looking at them like, ooh, they're talking Japanese.
Everybody
Great
learn
stretch.
Give 'em the money.
Japanese if you have a partner, so that you guys
Or a
can
different
learn.
language. Just
Yeah.
a different language will
Yeah.
do.
Except Spanish.
Yeah. And then they counter with, 150 for 25%. And Robert's like, I'll meet you in the middle for 30. And then they talk again. And I really thought that they were going to go for like 27.5 or something. I was like, just take the deal.
Yeah.
And they were like, our last question, Robert. Do you want your putter now or later? Which I thought
I was really
cool.
nervous
It
about
was so
this one.
corny.
I was really nervous that they were going to have no deal, and then we just end up sad and depressed at the end of the episode.
I don't think they'd leave us like that on opening night.
That's what I thought,
yeah.
but I'm glad they didn't. Yeah, yeah.
And then so the recap that we had in this one was the Simple Sugars.
Right, which we've
Yeah.
seen another recap last season of it too.
Yeah, and it was a season 4 product, I think.
Yeah.
And it went into a lot of maternity locations, and it was another success story. It's like before Shark Tank was $1 million in sales, now it's like $3 million. So all these companies that do, it's funny, it's like the companies that do good actually double and triple. You know what I mean? It's not that they just do good by a little bit. It's definitely, there's a big percentage that they jump up from being on the show. Anything else you guys want to talk about?
Predictions?
Oh yeah, what are your predictions? Let's start with you, Phil.
I gotta wait for the
And
music.
now,
I know.
your AFTERBUZZ TV predictions.
Here's the tough part. They never show any of the actual products. They just have the actual reactions. And it looks like Robert walks out. That's my boy.
I didn't see that.
What?
Did you guys see that?
No, I didn't see it either.
What?
I don't know.
He walked out.
He walked out like he had to go to the bathroom? Or he walked out because
Yeah, like he stormed out. He was pissed.
Yeah, maybe. He was like, you know what? I'm out.
go.
Not only am I out, I'm gone.
I mean, it would cause some drama in the tank.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not a fan of, I hope that doesn't happen because the people have to be super offended, or if someone offends Robert, which would make me angry. But, we'll see if it happens.
I really like the cast of characters in terms of, like, Mark, I feel like overall is a beloved character. Lori, for the females. And Barbara's fun, too, in her own way. Robert, while nice, I don't think he gets still the credit he deserves. And then
Likewise.
Kevin really is the anchor overall because he knows, like, his persona on the show is just to be an asshole.
And I think too, and he even mentioned tonight that even though he got emotional and he cried, he doesn't make emotional decisions, and that's why he's a good investor.
Yeah.
And I can't agree with that more. Yes, it's one thing to have a passion project, you know what I mean, and do stuff like for your children if that's what the intention is, like what Mark would do. But as a straight investor, you can't let emotion really steer the ship,
Yeah.
And I think he's good at that.
He always says Barbara does that.
Yeah, he said Barbara did that in the last episode, yeah.
So, all right. Anything else before we go?
That's it.
I
it.
don't
All right.
have predictions, but I'm really excited to see what this whole Jimmy Kimmel Guillermo thing is, and I want to know who more guest judges are because I love when we have a little.
Here's what
switch
I
up.
hope the Jimmy Kimmel Guillermo thing isn't. Just a plug for the show.
I think that's what
Yeah.
it will be.
No, I don't think. I think that would be cheesy, and I want to say that I don't think Shark Tank is that cheesy. Like, there's got to be some sort of product.
I think there's a little bit of cheese with the Target thing, though. It's a little bit of cheese with the Target
I'm nervous because ABC promoting ABC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be super disappointed if that happens.
I really want just Jimmy Kimmel to have a good idea and saying, like, you know what, because I am on ABC and I understand Shark Tank, you know, I knew I had an easier way to get on Shark Tank, but this is a brilliant idea that I want to present to you.
Yeah, I want it to be kind of like that too. I want it to be kind of like him being like, my friends, like, I had to be convinced to come here because I had this idea. Everyone was telling me I had to come here. You know what I mean? Like, that it wasn't like, ooh, let me just get the cheap in.
Yeah.
I hope
But
it's
also being
Guillermo's
honest,
idea.
like, hey, I had an
Guillermo's
easier
idea.
way to get on the show than most people.
Yeah.
Like, if he can be honest about that, let's be real.
Let's keep it real. Anything else before we wrap up?
No.
Where
Tell-
can you
That's
find-
it.
What's it?
Where can the people find you?
Well, the people can find me on Instagram and Twitter at I am Stef with an FZ. Where can we find you guys?
You can find me on Twitter at the only camshaft.
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Miss Zias.
Follow us here at AfterBuzz TV, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all that fun stuff.
All right, sweet. Until next time, have a good week, and thanks for watching. Bye-bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.